What if I told you that the inventions shaping how you eat, sleep, work, and even argue about pineapple pizza aren't the flashy ones? Not the iPhone, not nuclear power, heck, not even sliced bread. I'm talking about forgotten little contraptions so disturbingly influential, so, buckle up for the unglamorous countdown of the forgotten inventions that changed the world in disturbing ways. Number 6. The shipping container. Okay, picture this, you're ordering a glow-in-the-dark fidget spinner, or maybe a questionable anime body pillow online. It arrives neatly in a box. Behind that Amazon smile lurks one of the most disruptive and weirdly boring inventions in modern history, the shipping container. Yeah, a giant metal rectangle. Invented in 1956 by Malcolm McLean, who was just a truck driver sick of waiting around while people loaded cargo one rusty hook at a time.
His big idea?
Put stuff in a standardized box.
That's it. Genius.
Before containers, global trade was chaos. Picture dock workers unloading barrels, sacks, crates, and the occasional cow, one by one. It was slow, expensive, and smelled like sweaty sailors. McLean's boxes turned ports into Tetris games. Stack, lock, ship, done. Suddenly, moving goods was dirt cheap. And when things become cheap to move, the whole planet starts acting like one giant Walmart. Here's the disturbing part. The shipping container didn't just make trade efficient, it rewired the economy. Factories fled to countries where wages were pennies, because shipping jeans across the world was now cheaper than sewing them locally. Cities that once thrived on bustling ports, New York, Liverpool, emptied overnight, while massive container ports popped up in random nowhere places like Shenzhen, which, by the way, went from fishing village to megacity in a few decades. The shipping container is why your iPhone isn't designed in California, made in California. It's also why fast fashion exists, why bananas are cheaper than apples in some countries, and why pirates in Somalia had such a booming business in the 2000s. Basically, McLean invented globalization, using rectangles. So yeah, every time you track a package online, just know you're watching the shadowy fingerprints of one of the most powerful forgotten inventions of the 20th century. The world didn't shrink, it just folded itself neatly into a metal box.
Number 5. The spinning machine. Ah, the 1700s.
A time when powdered wigs were cool, bathing was optional, and someone thought, hey, let's make spinning yarn easier. Enter the spinning machine, sometimes called the spinning jenny. Which, by the way, sounds more like a roller coaster or a bad nickname for your drunk aunt than the launchpad for modern capitalism. Before Jenny, yarn was spun one thread at a time by hand. Imagine Netflix buffering forever, except you're weaving your own underwear. Then James Hargreaves, a weaver with more kids than patience, rigged a contraption that could spin multiple threads at once. Suddenly, instead of one sad spool, you could pump out 8, then 16, then 80. Basically, yarn on steroids. This little hack turned Britain's textile industry into a monster. But here's the disturbing twist. Spinning machines didn't just make clothes cheaper. They lit the fuse for the Industrial Revolution. Goodbye, cozy cottage weaving. Hello, child labor in dark satanic mills. Families who once worked together at home got funneled into noisy, dangerous factories. Kids as young as 6 were stuck inside spinning cotton instead of, not dying of lung disease. Workers were so freaked out by the machines that mobs literally smashed them to pieces. That's right, the OG smash that like button was people smashing spinning jennies with hammers. On a bigger scale, the spinning jenny and her spinny cousins sparked mass urbanization, environmental destruction, and that whole awkward moment where Britain became the richest country on Earth while colonizing half the planet. All thanks to some guy who just wanted more yarn for his socks. So yeah, next time you put on a t-shirt, remember, that soft cotton comfort is built on the backs of children who worked 12-hour days in a room full of deadly gears.
Sweet dreams. Number 4. The ball bearing.
Imagine a world without ball bearings. Spoiler, it would suck. You'd have no bikes, no cars, no fidget spinners, and your desk chair would sound like a demon screaming every time you tried to swivel. Ball bearings date back to the 1st century AD. Some bored Roman engineer thought, what if things rolled on little balls? And bam, civilization got slippery. These tiny spheres reduced friction so machines could move smoothly. Leonardo da Vinci doodled them. But they really exploded in the 1800s, when bicycles became the iPhone of the day and every Victorian hipster wanted one.
The disturbing part?
Ball bearings are the invisible skeleton of modern life. They're in planes, turbines, skateboards, dental drills, even the Mars rover. Without them, machines would literally grind themselves into dust. But here's the kicker. They've also been at the heart of war. Germany in World War II hoarded ball bearings like gold, because without them, tanks don't roll, planes don't fly, and machine guns don't shoot. In fact, Allied bombers once launched Operation Point Blank, an air campaign targeting Nazi ball-bearing factories. Because if you destroy the balls, you destroy the war machine. Yes, entire military strategies hinged on tiny steel marbles. Humanity's fate decided by stress-tested marbles. So next time you glide your office chair across the floor, remember, you're sitting on the same technology that once determined whether Hitler's tanks could invade your grandma's backyard.
Smooth, huh? Number 3, concrete. Concrete. The least sexy substance known to man. You walk on it, you park on it, pigeons poop on it.
But without concrete, civilization would basically collapse into a soggy mess of mud huts and wooden stilts. The Romans perfected it around 200 BC. They mixed volcanic ash, lime, and seawater to create a material so tough that their aqueducts, temples, and amphitheaters are still standing today. Meanwhile, your driveway can't survive one winter without cracking like a stale Pop-Tart. But here's the disturbing bit: concrete didn't just build Rome. It built modernity. Skyscrapers, highways, bridges, dams, every depressing office park you've ever driven by exists because of concrete. It's the backbone of urban life, the gray goo that turned fields into parking lots. And the side effects? Oh, just minor things like cooking the planet. Concrete production is responsible for around 8% of global CO2 emissions. That's more than every airplane on Earth combined. Congratulations, every sidewalk is slowly roasting the earth like a marshmallow. It also traps heat, creating urban heat islands, where cities are several degrees hotter than surrounding areas. So while the Romans used concrete to make cozy public baths, we've basically used it to make air conditioning mandatory for survival. Oh, and don't forget, the endless production of concrete destroys rivers, mountains, and entire ecosystems, just so you can have a Walmart within walking distance. So yes, while concrete holds up the world, it's also quietly ensuring that world is going to be a sauna. Civilization's foundation is literally cooking civilization.
Irony much? Number 2, the printing press.
Let's talk about the 15th century invention that made humans way too loud, the printing press. Before Gutenberg, books were rare, handwritten treasures copied by monks who definitely didn't appreciate your weird fanfiction.
After Gutenberg,
suddenly, anyone with a few coins could mass-produce words, and humanity has never shut up since. At first, it was great, knowledge spread, literacy soared, and people started questioning the church. But here's the catch: the printing press also unleashed centuries of chaos. Wars of religion? Fueled by pamphlets.
Witch hunts?
Powered by sensational printed manuals. Conspiracy theories? Oh, they were thriving long before YouTube comment sections. Basically, the printing press turned Europe into a chaotic Reddit thread with swords. It gave rise to newspapers, propaganda, revolutions, and your uncle who won't stop sending you interesting articles on Facebook. Every cultural upheaval from the Reformation to the French Revolution can trace its roots back to ink splattered on cheap paper.
And the creep factor?
The press didn't just democratize knowledge, it industrialized persuasion. Rulers, politicians, and snake oil salesmen quickly realized they could mass-produce lies at scale. Think of it as the beta version of fake news. So yeah, while we love books and memes, the printing press is the reason your group chats are clogged with misinformation and your grandparents believe the earth is flat again. Gutenberg didn't just invent publishing, he invented spam.
Number 1,
the matchstick. Fire used to be hard.
Like, really hard.
Early humans had to rub sticks together, strike flint, or just wait for lightning to set a tree on fire and hope they could borrow some. Then in 1826, a British chemist named John Walker invented the friction match, a little wooden stick tipped with chemicals that could burst into flame with a flick. Sounds innocent, until you realize matches were basically the like button of the 19th century. Suddenly, anyone could summon fire instantly. Homes lit up, cooking got easier, and smoking exploded, literally and figuratively. The match turned humans into portable arsonists. But here's the disturbing part: the match industry was built on suffering. Match factories employed mostly young women, who were exposed to toxic phosphorus. It caused phossy jaw, a horrific disease where their jawbones literally rotted away. Imagine smiling in the mirror and seeing your teeth glowing in the dark. That's not a cool superpower, that's industrial poisoning. Matches also democratized destruction. Arson skyrocketed. Cities with wooden buildings were basically tinderboxes, and one tossed match could wipe out blocks. The convenience of a cheap flame reshaped everything from crime rates to urban design. So yeah, every time you light a candle, just remember, that little flame comes with a side of corporate negligence, industrial disease, and centuries of suspicious fires.
Cozy.
That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.